I'm going to tie probably one of the best known salmon flies, which is the Cascade. I'm going to do a green butted version. So what I'm going to do here is I'm using, this is a glow bright number 12, tying that on close to the butt here. I'm going to put on some silver offal backwards and stop, come forward a few turns. Now I'm wrapping on maybe 3-4 turns of the silver tinsel, and then turn across the top of it, and then make sure that this is going forward along. Well, you can do it either on the top or underneath, it doesn't really matter. And then we cut that off. Just with your nail, check that the turns of tinsel are tight together. Now, the tail of this fly is a mixture of yellow and orange bucktail. So to tie a lot of these things, I mixed an orange and a yellow bucktail together. I keep it in a pot so I can just pull out bunches for tails as and when I require. So just pull out some loose fibres. Now some people like to tamp their tail down in a hair sack or something so it's the same length. I don't think that's overly natural. I'll sort of pull a few bits through each other to make like a tapered tail. So you want to have a tail that's maybe twice or so the length of the body. So measure that up. Swap over, hold with your left hand the bunch. Now you see I've tied that down roughly in the middle. Now, as I lift this up, the butt ends, I'm not going to cut them tight in here. I'm going to cut it slightly at an angle so that they're shorter here, longer here. So as I wrap that forward, it'll create a nice even taper on the body. Now, I want to put a bit of flash into the tail of that. You can use a variety of different things. Use crystal hair, you can use mirage. Here I'm going to use a bit of orange mirage. I put the tinsel on the top, fold it back on itself. Now I'm going to stroke all that backwards, hold on to the tail, pulling slightly back, and then I'm going to wrap down until I am up level with where my silver butt went on. And then I'm going to try and create a nice little butt. I'm just going to randomly wrap that forward, take out a bit of line, and finish that off. Then I take my tinsel, pull it back to the length of the tail roughly, and cut it off. Now, for added durability, I'm just going to varnish the butt point. Now, if I was going to tie a lot of these, what I'd do is I'd just put these tails on, get to this point, varnish it, set it aside, put a new one in, tie as many as I want, and then I might even put on several coats of varnish just to give them a nice glossy finish. So Now we want to put on a rib. So again we're going to use silver oval. I'm going to place that underneath the hook and wrap backwards to the point where my butt is. For the rear of the body on this one, I'm going to use holographic silver flat braid. So I'm going to slide that under my tie-in thread, and again bring that in nice firm turns back to the same point, the base of the butt, and then wrap forward. Now take the silver flat braid, pull it nice and tight to start, and then wrap about half the body in that. Come back and pulling this tight towards myself. I've put a wrap across the top of it to hold it in position. Then I'm going to wrap forwards a couple of turns. And trim that off. I'm using my tie-in silk to create a nice smooth underbody. I'm going to get a bit of black rayon, floss, silk, whichever you want to use. I put it, take a length, put it in at the middle, join up the two tips, and then you'll see I can slide down my tie-in thread, put a couple of turns back over it, and then now I'm twisting it so that it opens itself up, and also by wiggling as I wrap it on, it tends to splay and open up the floss, because I don't really want it wrapping on as a tight rope, because that'll create an uneven body. And at the front, tie that off and trim the waistbands. I'm going to use the silver rib. Take that forward. Trying to keep the turns roughly the same distance apart. And then this last turn, I'm ending as it comes round to myself. Turn over the top to hold it in place. A couple of good firm turns on it to secure it. Trim it off. If you want for extra security, you can take like a little dab of varnish or super glue and just put that on there at that tie-in point. Now for the wing of this one, I'm going to use this is a fox mask, and the hair that you get right up here at the head is very nice for making wings. There's quite a bit of guard hair in it. It's just difficult to get any length to it. So take a bunch out of that, and then I'm going to pull out, hold it by the tips, and I'm going to pull out the majority of the underfur. Now it's up to yourself what way you want to tie this. Some people would also put in, I think the original had a bit of crystal hair in there underneath this wing, but some people don't like them overly flashy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that up for length, transfer my hands, put on a loose loop through my fingers, and then tighten that up. Now, grab all those the bases of those, pull them back, and then cut that off to create a nice neat head. I'm going to take a bit of super glue. I'm going to run that along the tying thread, and I'm going to wrap over the base of that and come back on itself, and that should just hold all that wing in position. So a lot of people like to lick their wings, see what they look like wet. Okay, now hackles wise, it's an orange and a yellow hackle, but on this one I'm going to use orange and yellow badger hackles. So I'm going to pick out a hackle, strip off the base portion of it, and that removes the temptation for me to wrap on too many turns and get into the portion that's not as well marked. So if that's stripped back to the point where I've still got a nice black centre to it. Now I'm going to double the hackle. This takes a bit of practice, but I'm holding it by the tip between my thumb and finger, and then I'm holding the base of it between my next two fingers. I put a bend into it, and then I use my finger, fold the hackles around, and then just slide them between the thumb and forefinger of my right hand, and I'll end up with a doubled hackle. Now I nip out the tip, and then I separate out a few fibre hackles so that I just get a little bit of stock. I put a wrap over that, and then I fold it back on itself. Now I'm going to put on a bit of wax onto my thread. I'm going to wrap that back just to the base of the wing tie-in. And my hackle pliers. And now I'm going to wrap on, moving forward and touching turns, and I'm just stroking the hackles back to keep them from sticking out too much sideways. Now I get to the end of it, hold this up, put a wrap across it, and bind that down to secure it. Thumb and forefinger I'm now stroking back the fibres. Now we're going to put on another hackle in front of that, this time a yellow badger, a bit more varnish. Now I'm going to pick a hackle, not so long this time. Again, strip off the unwanted, and then I double that. And then mix the amount that you tie of each colour. Again, is a personal preference, up to yourself. So I've done the same again, tying it in by its tip, folding it back on itself, and then go forward. Now I take hackle pliers again and use my fingers just to guide the lay of the hackle as I wrap it on. catch that in place. Folded that back on itself. And now I'm going to trim off that, and what remains now is to finish the head of that fly. So what I'm going to do is take my bodkin, I'll put super glue again onto my thread, run it along a length of a couple of inches, hold my hackles out of the way. I'm going to wrap that and create a head, put a half edge on to finish it. Again, I'm going to take my needle, I want to super glue the head. Okay, and there you have a Cascade. And when the super glue dries, I'll put on another coat of clear varnish.